Carol, did you finish that stuff I asked you to do?
Good morning, Liz. That work you asked me to do? I'm not really sure what you're referring to.
Are you for real? That Excel file I asked for. I have to submit that file to Mr. Johnston by noon. I told you to have it done by then. Don't you remember, for God's sake?
Yeah, okay. I've got a pile of Excel files I'm working on at the moment. Can you point me in the right direction?
It's the one for the new account. I wanted you to add that total sequence to the file.
Total sequence?
It's used to provide a shortcut to data in a spreadsheet or something. Come on, you don't even know that? I thought you said you could use Excel.
Oh, do you mean token sequencing?
Huh? Anyway, Mr. Johnston asked me about it this morning, so I left it on your desk. I asked you to do it, so just do it. Got it?
Liz?
Yeah, what is it?
It's Mr. Johnston's job to assign work to other staff members, not yours. You're just a normal employee like the rest of us. What's more, you've only been here for a month or so. Actually, I have more seniority than you. TBH, you're not in a position to be giving me orders.
Huh? You're not serious. You're a contract employee. Don't act like you run this place. Everyone knows that a full-time employee has way more say-so than some mere contract employee. Everyone knows that. A full-timer has way more seniority than contractors. So, as an official employee of this company, you, the contractor, do as I say. That make you one of my staff members that I can boss around. Simple as that. Besides, you've only been assigned to this section for like a month. Give me a break. You're like 100 years too early to boss me around. Have I made myself clear? If so, get that total whatever done by 3 p.m.
You mean that token sequencing function, right?
Yeah, whatever, same thing. I'll tell Mr. Johnston that I made the changes, so when you're done, put that file on my desk, would you? Hey, did you get it done?
Yes, finished it over an hour ago.
Huh? See? If you put your mind to it, you can get it done. Okay, so what I want you to do next is…
The customer list, right?
Huh?
I put together that list through Access and updated it to the latest version. Oh, and that PowerPoint presentation you wanted. That's all ready to go. I placed that all in the new accounts folder. Just input today's date and you'll find it. If you relay the info to Mr. Johnston, he can access and use it right away during the meeting.
Hold on a second. Do you mean to tell me you got all that done in the last 2 hours?
Yes, that's right. I'm sure I got everything that you asked for. There's nothing missing, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, right.
If there is nothing else, my shift is ending, so I gotta wrap things up.
Not so fast! You're still in company's time!
I'm sorry, my folks are in town this week, so I want to spend as much time with them as I can. I already informed the section chief about leaving early this week.
Oh, yeah, alright.
Actually, I was supposed to leave before noon, but…
Oh, it's my fault, huh? Is that what you're hinting at?
I didn't say that. So that's the story. I better get going.
Hey, good evening, Carol.
Oh, hey Liz. I'm currently off the clock. Is there something you need?
About those files for the allocation process for that Monday meeting?
Next Monday?
My boss just asked me for a bunch of additional files for that account we're working on. He apparently wants it by 11 a.m. for the meeting with clients in the afternoon. I think it was scheduled for 2 or so get that done ASAP. This is really urgent. Okay, I'm counting on you.
Liz, hold on a second.
Huh? Not more of that belly aching, I hope. You're working for me. I suggest you do exactly what I tell you to do. Got it?
I have no intention of belly aching, as you put it. It's just that Monday. I already took the morning off. I informed the company several weeks ago. As I said, my folks are in town and we will be attending a friend's reception. Those events tend to go on forever, so what's more, the reception is a couple of hours away. A pretty long drive. Figured I should take the morning off.
Huh? You're not serious. You're being a bit self-centered, don't you think?
Excuse me?
For Pete's sake, you've only been at this company for a month. You're just a new hire. You really have the gall to take time off so soon?
Well, regarding my work preferences, I confirmed the company policy beforehand. I would not have taken the job if I wasn't free to choose my schedule. Besides, there is no company policy that I know of that says a contract worker can't take time off, even after a month of being hired.
Yeah, well, it may not be a company policy, but it's just common sense. Even if you're allowed to take time off, most employees won't, out of courtesy to the company.
Not sure about that. I think you're way off. There are certain labor laws. I doubt the company wants to run afoul of such laws.
Huh? What are you, a lawyer?
Maybe 10 or 20 years ago. That kind of thinking may have been the norm, but with a new and younger administration, work environment has changed drastically. There is no more working overtime out of obligation to the company. Recent labor laws are very beneficial to workers, you know, and that goes for both full-time employees as well as contract workers like myself.
Well, there may be such a policy in place, but we ignore that for the good of the company.
Didn't you take a week off to go on that vacation last week? What you're saying and your actions don't seem to coincide.
Don't give me that! I really can't believe you, Carol. You've only been here for a month and you talk like some know-it-all professor or something. So cheeky.
Well, anyway, I'm busy on Monday. I did everything by the book, and the company confirmed that it's okayed, so I have no intention of changing that.
Hold on a second, Carol.
If the boss assigned you the job, I suggest you take care of it. After all, it's your job.
No, I can't accept that. You be here early Monday morning. I expect those files by 11 a.m. Got it? I have every right to assign you this work. I'm a full-time employee here. You work for me.
Am I hearing you right? I mean, really? Are you being serious?
Of course I'm serious. You are really slow to catch on. It's common knowledge in this day and age. A full-time employee is way higher in stature than some part-time contractor like you. Let me put it real simple, so you understand. I am a full-time employee, which makes you my underling. So any job I assign you, that's coming from your superior.
Okay, I get it. That's how you perceive your current position at the company.
Yeah, I mean, it's common sense. You don't do what I say, and I have no other choice but to tell the boss and the other managers that you're an incompetent worker. Hey, Carol, pick up! Why aren't you here? You're supposed to be here in the office at 8 a.m. sharp. Come on, stop ignoring me! How many times did I tell you to be here? You know what this means, right? This is your boss. I'm giving you an order. Pick up!
Oh, Liz, good morning.
It's about time. Where the hell were you? Do you realize it's after 9 a.m.?
Yes, of course. What about it?
Where the hell are you?
I just pulled off to the side of the road to answer your text.
And so what time are you planning on arriving today?
I'm still on the road back. No way I can make it in the morning.
Are you out of your mind? What are you planning to do about those files I asked you to do? I told you to get those done by 11 a.m. Don't tell me you forgot.
I've said this countless times. I took the morning off. The office is aware of it.
Yeah, and I told you countless times. Your boss is telling you to do your job. I never gave you permission to take time off.
Well, you know what? I think you should take this up with your boss and see what he has to say about it.
Huh?
You can say you assigned your contract worker to do a specific job. She snobbishly turned you down. Really simple if you think about it, don't you agree? And you can add that you, as my immediate boss, commanded me to do a job, but I said I took the morning off and failed to show up. Then you could ask him what you should do about those files. That makes sense, huh? Seems like the only option you have.
Well, I could, but...
If that's all, I gotta get back on the road.
Wait, hold on a second.
I've already wasted time pulling over. I have to get my dad to drive since I have some spreadsheets to work on.
Spreadsheets? Does it mean you have the PC with you? Then why don't you start working on those files?
Sorry, goodbye.
Don't you dare cut me off! Carol, pick up! This is all your fault! Answer, for God's sake!
Hello? Can I help you?
I thought you were coming to the office in the afternoon.
I am at the office. At the main office.
Main office? You're just a part-timer. What are you doing there? This is no time to be screwing around. This is all your fault. Do you realize the trouble you've caused?
Trouble? Me?
Those files I asked you to do. I couldn't get them in on time for the meeting.
Oh yeah, those files. Another staff member got those done in time for the meeting.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about?
Well, about the work you've been assigning me, I reported all that to Mr. Johnston, your boss. He took a look at the workload and reassigned the work to me and the other staffers.
Huh?
So regarding those additional files, Mr. Johnston knew I was taking the morning off, so he reassigned that to another staffer, who subsequently got it done in time, so no worries.
You've got to be kidding me! What the hell are you doing going directly to my boss? You're just a lowly contractor. You have no right to do that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If I was a lowly contractor, I would never be able to do that. You're certainly correct about that.
What the hell are you blabbering about?
My boss gave me permission. I'm going to be straight with you, Liz.
What? What is it?
I just recently joined the HR department as a full-time employee.
HR?
I'm also related to the company president.
The president?
You know what? We're actually the same. New employees.
Wait, hold on a sec. What's going on here? What are you even talking about?
Well, it seems that section you're working in, apparently 5 staffers had quit in the last year. The main office thought it was strange and wanted to investigate why. Obviously, they had to get to the bottom of it. They chose me as a new employee and somebody nobody knew to work there as a contractor. My job was to monitor the situation and work environment of our section to determine the cause.
Not sure what you're getting at. What's that got to do with me?
Simply put, I was assigned by the main office to investigate your department.
Investigate?
I was able to monitor the environment of your department for the past month, and I did feel the entire atmosphere of the office seems a bit too relaxed. But the main problem was you, Liz. You were the main problem.
Me? What did I do that was so terrible?
Do you really not know?
All I've been doing is working and doing a good job of it, for your information.
The main problem was your brash attitude towards contracted workers. You even said it to me. A full-timer has way more seniority than contractors, and that I was your staff member.
Yeah, well, that was because...
Your thinking on such matters is completely mistaken. And regarding all that work you've been forcing onto other staffers, the reason is because you don't have a full grasp of how to use the software. We all know your educational background. Well, subsequently, we pressed your current boss and another manager about their relationship with you, and lo and behold, it seems they were regular customers at Starlight Lounge downtown, where you worked. We found that you had relations with them, and in exchange for your services, they promised you a full-time job at this company. Am I leaving anything out?
Hold it a second. How could you know?
And this relationship is still ongoing. For your information, Mr. Johnston and the other managers spilled the beans about this relationship and how you landed this job.
You can't be serious. This is not happening.
This is a problem. A big problem for our company. It goes completely against our strict compliance policies.
Can't we work something out?
Regarding you and the others, a judgment has already been made regarding this unfortunate situation.
This is not happening!
The manager of the HR department is on his way there to relay the consequences regarding this matter.
What's going on?
Actually, I'm typing this online in the cab. I'm headed over there right now.
You've got to be kidding me, right?
All right then, I will talk to you later. When we arrived at the office, all the people involved gathered into one of the meeting rooms. It seems Liz was working at the Starlight Lounge as a hostess to pay off her ex-husband after their divorce. Well, she managed to pay off her debt, but now needed a full-time job. Not just any job, but a stable office job. So she curried favor with those guys and landed a job in the company. As a consequence, these guys were demoted to mere office workers. What's more, they were transferred to far-off company affiliates. As for Liz, it was determined her educational background and computer skills were severely lacking, and as a result, she was subsequently fired. Mr. Johnston's wife obviously found out about the whole affair and demanded a divorce, and I hear he had to pay a significant amount as compensation. The head of the HR department's last words to Liz were, "Education and computer skills are important if you want to land a good position." Not really sure if she took it to heart, though.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hello. Is this phone number by any chance Henry's wife's number? You go by Sandy, right? Hello? Do you have any idea what's happened with Henry? As far as I'm aware, Henry went to a class reunion for one of his classes back in middle school, right? So he's gone back to his hometown for it. Well, I happen to be one of his longtime friends and was in the same class as him in middle school. You can call me Emily. It's a really cute name, right? Your name is Emily? Well, I guess it's cute. But to be honest with you, I know hundreds of Emilys, and I'm not really sure the name itself is that cute. What a buzzkill! So, Emily, when are you going to get on with telling me why you're wanting to talk with me right now? Huh? I'm going to assume that you are talking to me right now because you took my phone number from his phone and copied it into yours. I happen to know Henry pretty well, and I'm sure he wouldn't just be handing out my information to you and ask you to text me. So can you please just tell me why you want to talk? For some reason, I'm getting a bad vibe from you. Well, whatever. I'll tell you what I want from you right now then. And it's nothing that I really want from you, but rather what I want to tell you about me. I've gone and taken your husband home from the class reunion. Huh? What are you going on about? You have no idea. In other words, I'm having a little after party with him in this hotel room. That's all. Huh? Listen to this. At first, I was looking to take a completely different man away from that reunion to make my lover, you know? But that dick was with another old fart of a woman, and when I came over to talk to him, she began to bark in my face. Ugh. At that point, I was about to give up and thought me going to that reunion was going to be completely pointless. But as I was thinking that, I turned to see my old friend Henry. All that nasty skin he had on his face before, covered in all these little red pimples, had cleared right up and he was looking sexy. And as for those stupid little round glasses that he was wearing before, they'd been replaced by a stylish pair of brown J-bands. And his choice of clothing? Oh, perfect. Totally stylish. I knew this would be my only chance to see him, and so I made him my new target and started my hunt. And within a few hours, I had him in my grasp, coming to this hotel with me. And during that time, did you know about the fact that Henry is married? I knew that, and I learned about it while bringing him to the hotel room. Actually, I've known about the fact that he's been married for a while now, as I still talk to his parents every so often. Anyway, I haven't seen Henry in over 7 years because he and I are just never around one another. And anytime I'm talking to his mom or dad, he's not in town. So you've done all of this while knowing he's married? I really wanted him to be with me, so I had no other choice. When I told him that he's my first love, he began to cry about how much he wanted to treat me nicely and hugged me as we walked to the hotel. And why are you telling me all of this now? Knowing very well that I'm his wife and that I have been married to him for a while now. You know why I'm telling you about this. There's only one thing I'd want, and that's for you and Henry to get a divorce. And then you can hand him over to me so that I can have him forever. You want me to give him to you? You already stole him from me. How could I hand something over to you, or someone, when you've already gone and stole them from me? I just told you, though. He's always loved me, and even though I told him he's my first love, he came out and said he had this huge crush on me back in school. In other words, that means he and I are meant for one another. And that also means that he's always been mine, so I didn't steal him from you. Now that we've run into one another again, and I'm with him now, I'd like you to give him back. So hurry up and get that divorce so I can have him. I guess if he's always had that crush on you, then he was never mine to begin with. So I get what you're wanting to say here. Now, I never really knew about how he looked back in the day, but these days Henry is doing pretty good for himself. He happens to work for a very large company that is partners with other companies all over the globe. I'm sure you already knew about that, though, as well. And about how he's expected to be bringing in around $100,000 a year now with his job. Well, of course, all of that only adds to how amazing he is. And that's why I'm in love with him. And he's in love with me because I'm cute and precious to him. No mistaking that. So, that means he has no need for you anymore. As long as you go through with a divorce, then everything about him will come to me, and I can finally have my man. So hurry it up and get that divorce, please. I'll give you an answer to that after I've had a conversation with Henry about all of this. He said he'd be coming home tomorrow, so I'll sit him down and have a talk with him. Please let him know that, since you're actually right there with him. Will do. But I already know that Henry wants this divorce, so no matter what you try to do, he's going to leave. Henry, right about now you should be back home from your hometown, right? Where are you?
I'm at Emily's apartment.
Is that right? So it's true then? That you ended up running into your old friend from middle school that you always had a crush on and she took you to a hotel last night?
I'm sorry.
So I can take this as you saying you want to get a divorce then?
Yeah.
You have anything else to say to me? Anything at all?
Well, when it comes to you, Sandy, you really are an amazing woman. You say that you can do anything and everything on your own, and that's no lie. You really are able to do everything. So, for myself, well, you happen to support me with both my work and with my private life equally. I'm totally thankful that you've always been there for me helping out, and I want you to know that, but when it comes to the person who knows me best and knows how to please me the most, I'd have to say it's Emily. Also, when it came to her, she's always been in love with me ever since middle school. And she just confessed that to me yesterday at the class reunion.
I see. So the reason you and her ended up being in that hotel room yesterday and why you're over at her apartment now is because you both have liked each other since middle school?
So, I want you to know that whether it was back in middle school or even now, I've always been thinking about Emily, and have always wanted her to be my wife.
All right, I understand. But just because of that reasoning, I don't think we can get a divorce.
Why not?
Even if you and her ended up having a wonderful night with one another, this is a good example of you being unfaithful to me. So I can't just have this settled with a simple divorce. I'm going to make sure I have you and her pay your dues to me through settlements for this, and I'd like to tell both my parents about this and yours.
Well, actually, I was planning on doing the same thing.
One other thing. Since the both of us are working for the same company in the same office, I'm going to have to report what's happened to us to my manager. And I think you should be doing the same then.
That's right.
I think that you should be prepared to have a lot of people giving you the side eye and things like that after they hear about what you've done.
I guess there's no helping any of that, is there? All right.
Now I'm going to get myself a lawyer and we will sit down and discuss what needs to be done and go through all the paperwork. Once I've had time to talk with my lawyer about all of this and about the money that I can get from both you and Emily, then I'll go ahead and contact you again. Along with that, I'll hand in the divorce paperwork to the courthouse.
All right.
Sandy, thank you so much for getting that divorce with Henry. And by the way, I only just found out about this a little bit ago, but you happen to be 6 years older than Henry, and you work in a higher position than him with that company? That's right. I first met him when he joined the company, as I was in charge of training him, and after some time we grew closer to one another and got married. Well then, you're aware that he's in a much better place now being with someone like me rather than with some old fart like you. And as for yourself, now that you've been divorced by a younger man, that pretty much means that that's it for you, and you'll never be with another man again, right? But don't worry, I'll make sure that Henry is very happy with me and that you are kept up to date on that. Just make sure you don't get super jealous of us, all right? I'm not going to mind you sending me a text about how you feel as though you've come out on top over me. But shouldn't you be a bit more concerned about what's been going on with him? Huh? Oh, no way. Are you going to try and say to me that you know more about Henry than his longtime friend does? Well, I'm sorry, Sandy. I just got home from handing in our marriage papers to the courthouse with him, so this pretty much means game over for you. You've barely even been around him recently, and you're already jumping to marriage? You both haven't seen one another for 7 years, and you thought it was all right to just marry him like that? Are you both going to be okay? I feel like you two should have at least taken a bit more time to get to know one another again. Come on now. You're not going to ever get him back from me, so stop holding on to these feelings. Your time is up, you old fart. He's thrown you away for a much more cute and young girl, and he'd never turn around and go back to you. Hello? What do you want now? What the hell is going on here? What do you mean by here? I'm talking about Henry. What is all of this? Why the hell is this happening? Can you explain what's going on there in a little more detail? Why is he sleeping in so much? His alarm had gone off 4 times before he finally got up and started getting ready for work. And he didn't even bother to wash his face or shave. His hair is still a mess from the pillow, and he's just going to head to work like that? Also, why the hell is he farting so much all the dang time? And when it comes to his work clothes, he just takes them off and leaves them on the floor. Same thing goes for his dishes. He doesn't even bother to turn off the lights either when he leaves a room. And after using the bathroom, he doesn't flush the toilet. And what's worse than any of this? He doesn't even have a good sense of fashion. What the hell happened to the man I saw at the middle school reunion a while ago? Oh no, this is all happening a lot quicker than I was expecting. Huh? What do you mean? He already had problems when in the house with me, never having manners that you'd think an adult his age should have. But at work, he tends to be just as bad, never wearing proper clothing for the job and always farting really loudly in his cubicle. I'm going to assume that he never took his clothing chart with him over to your place, or that he isn't even bothering to look at it anymore now that he's with you. His clothing chart? It's this whole grid that tells him what shirts go with what pants and about what ties to wear and what jackets. What? Was that all written down inside that sketchbook he had brought along with him to my place? That's the one. I'm sure you already know about how much of a slob he is when it comes to his manners, since you've known him far longer than I have. But he's especially bad when it comes to his sense of fashion, and that's why we had a chart made up for him. I made this whole chart for him that would tell him what clothes to go with what and what days to wear that set on. What? So then, that means that the man I saw at the reunion... You always said it like he had done that by himself, but in reality, I was the one that got him dressed up like that and made him look more appealing. What the hell? You are more than welcome to use that chart with him to maintain a good look on him that otherwise he will never create by himself alone. But I threw it away. Really? Anything that I thought had to do with you, I threw in the trash can outside. And that includes the clothing chart you made for him, along with some of the clothing I thought you bought for him. All right then, so you're saying that you no longer have any of the things that helped him look as good as he once did. Sandy, please, can you please get Henry back to the handsome-looking man he was before he came over to my apartment? Well, that happens to be your job now, since you are his wife and all. As you had told me before, you happen to know him way better than I do, having been around him since middle school, and so I'm sure you'd be far better at helping him out than I am. right? Well, about that. Can I at least have you buy him a few more sets of clothing and make up another clothing chart? That's not going to happen. Why not? I am not going to take care of the man who ran off with another girl who asked me to divorce him after. I'm no longer related to anything that has to do with him, but I know someone who is, and that's you, Emily. And another thing, 2 weeks ago I made the choice to transfer. Transfer? Recently I was promoted from department manager into a regional manager, and so I have a change of responsibilities now. So you were moved to a different location? Yep. I'm very thankful for that as well. Thankful for the divorce, I mean. Because I no longer had to be married to Henry, I was free to do as I pleased, which includes moving to another town. What? So because I'm no longer working in the same office building, I've moved out of that town and am about 2.5 hour drive away. And because I'm now a regional manager, I have even less time to worry about what's going on in the lives of two strangers. No way. The way Henry is right now, if he doesn't change, I'm not going to be happy. Well, if that's the case, then he might need his new wife to start working on some strategies that'll help him get back to the man she loved him as. Good luck with that. A few days after that, due to no longer having me around to support his bad habits, Henry started to have a lot of problems with HR at work due to his poor style and manners. And only a few days after he had been talked to by HR, he and Emily got a divorce. Apparently, the only way the divorce worked out was because Emily had to force him into signing the papers, after he had cried and cried about how he couldn't live without her. Due to the reality that the girl he had always loved since middle school turned her back on him and kicked him out of her life, only a little bit after getting married, Henry has gotten very depressed. And because of this, he never left his place and soon lost his job. When it comes to Emily, she wasn't working at the time she took Henry from me, and so after kicking him out, she no longer had the money to pay her rent, and ran back home to her parents looking for help. But they both told her to get out of their faces as they had disowned her not too long ago. She was last seen running away from her hometown for good, and ever since then, nobody has heard a thing about her.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.